Hello, everybody. I'm back, and here we go. So, let's see all who is here. All right. Let me get my lighting stuff. Oops. I have something cute to show you, too. Isn't that precious? All right. Here we go. So, Polly, were you the first person here? Wow. Oh, Sonia's here. Hi, Sonia, sweetie. I was thinking about you yesterday because I was thinking, gosh, it'd be nice to do another Saturday Jitsi. That would be really nice. But let me try to get my camera set up. Mark had to take it off. Remember last Thursday night, I had to hold the camera to finish the show because the screw in the bottom came loose. So he worked on it for hours trying to find some method to hold that screw into the camera so it would stay on the arm. And he also tightened the arm up for me. So I'm really happy about that. Can't quite get it to look like what I'm used to, but there we go. We'll get it. We'll get there. So I see Polly was the first person. Marcia's there. Hi, sweetie. Diana B., how nice to see you. And whoops, I guess I do need my glasses. Oh, Debbie's here. Hi. I have a couple new pictures from Debbie. I'm very, very excited to show you those. So, boy, am I tired today. Kathy Klein. I saw Kathy Klein on an Alex Anderson, and I love it. I love it when I see your names out and about on the internet. It's like, I know her. So, yeah, I just want to tell you again, you mean so much to me. I was telling my daughter how much joy I get out of doing this and how productive you keep me. And in fact, let me make sure I've said hi to everyone. But, and if an Aunt BB comes by here, I hope she'll say hello because I hear she's quite a special lady and I would like her to feel welcome. Mitty is here, yay! And Pat Fry is back. That's exciting. In fact, I owe Pat Fry. I wish now I wasn't blocking my cute little, I just ordered and got him in. He's going to go on the front porch. And he's cute can be. Let me turn off the overhead light so maybe you can see him better. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully you can see him a little better. He's so cute. But anyway, it is so good to be back. Last Sunday, Mark and I were in Williamsburg, and you like the quilt in the background. Yeah, that is a sweet quilt. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. I need to start trying to remember. Very, very easy. You do about a 5-inch block. And it's kind of a modified, log cabin. Very easy to do, and I love all the spaces of white. That's the thing I really enjoy about the modern quilt movement is they having those big spaces of white. You can do wonderful quilting on them. So, and that's hanging up there, even though the binding has not yet been fully sewn down. So that's another thing I've been thinking about lately. I really want to start getting these projects finished and done, and I'm frustrated, but life gets in the way, doesn't it? But anyway, I just love my little Halloween pumpkin and ghosty. And I was tickled that the prices have come down so much on these. I can get them. So I know I do forget. And, haven't we all at some point said, I'm going to make a record book of all the quilts that I make and pictures of them and information about them? I go from one thing to the next so quick, I never quite do it. And I try to. So many of my quilts have been gifts, and I was usually rushing like bad to finish them in time that I didn't even take a picture of them. So it's one of those things that would be a lovely idea. It's not going to happen. So anyway, I'm so excited to see you. And let me tell you about yesterday, because it's terrible. I'm sitting here talking to you and I'm picking up little bits of this and that and trying to put things away. And if we're going to be honest, I'm going to show y'all. Do you see that cutting counter right there? It's getting full again. I was trying to be so good and clean up everything when I was done. Oh, I'm showing you everything now. You know how I am. Look at this. Look at this. So I need to spend a little time doing cleanup. And let's be honest. Cleaning up is not fun. Creating is fun. Making the mess is fun. Cleaning it up is not. So, I'm going to have to work on that. I apologize. I really apologize. So I've got some things to show you. But yesterday, my daughter, I had made plans with her that my grandson, Evan, and his band, the Oak Grove, they're Bears, I think. I'm trying to remember. Grizzlies. I think that's what they are. And so they were going to be in a band competition, and it was an hour away from me, which means it was an hour and 40 minutes away from her. So she picked me up and off we went. And we got there, I guess, about, oh, Polly, you're so sweet. I tell you what, if you have a spare bedroom, take it. I've got this room, which is in the basement, because Polly's been here before. She knows. And I took another bedroom upstairs from my quilt frame because I said, we don't get that much company. Why am I keeping these spare bedrooms open? So I have one spare bedroom that we try to keep somewhat straight. But you know what? People, especially with the pandemic, people don't pack. So you know what? Mark said, you're going to be using 2 rooms. I said, yeah, and we've got them just sitting there. But anyway, I love my space. It really, in fact, Gromit's under my desk. And Mark was talking about he loves going downstairs with you. Why? He lays under your desk. But I think it's such a happy space. It's my space. Everything is mine, and I get so tickled and happy. And when I used to have to sew in the dining room or whatever, it was always clean up the mess. It didn't feel like my space. But I get so tickled and happy when I come down to this space, and that makes a difference. So if you get that chance to just a bedroom, anything, grab it. It makes all the difference in the world. And you know what? How many of us have living rooms that don't ever get used? Turn it into your space. Make curtains to cover the doorways so that if you don't want to straighten up, you pull the curtains closed and you move on. Because why do we have fancy living rooms we never use? So just saying. Anyway, you get the loft space in the new house. Oh, that'll be wonderful. And the nicest thing about having a space away from things is it's all yours to do just as you want. Leave it as you want. Set your own rules. That's going to be wonderful, Debbie. We can't wait for pictures to see it. So, but anyway, you used to use your son's old bedroom. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, how much space does he really need? Oh, I would have him sleeping on a inflatable bed in the corner where you've left a little tiny space. I'm a mess. But anyway, so we went. It was pretty. It was a pretty drive going towards the mountains and the western, even further west, northwest, and North Carolina, to North Wilkes or Wilkesboro High School. And I am too much, aren't I? I tell you, you got to watch out for me. I will lead you down the wrong path. But so we got there about 2:20, And we got in and we went, oh no, we had checked and it was going to be 78 degrees. I wasn't happy about that because if you're sitting out in the sun, surrounded by people, it gets a little hot. So luckily my daughter said, Mom, you might want to put some sunscreen on. Thank goodness I did. In fact, my hands got a little bit tan. And I had one knee. I wore shorts, thank goodness. One knee kept getting so hot from the sun that I kept trying to cover it, stretch my shirt out over it and cover it up. But we sat there from 2:30 to 8 p.m. We watched band after band after high school band, marching band, and my grandson's band did really well. We were so excited. In fact, I have a video to show you of that. And that sweet young man, he's a 9th grader. He's 15. He came over to thank us for coming. I mean, be still my heart. How sweet is that? So I even have a picture of me with him. But it was a lot of fun. But I tell you what, until about 5:30, it was so hot. We kept thinking, we could be at home. We could be in air conditioning. This sun is killing us. I don't like sun as it is. And it was so bright. You would think by October it'd be nice and chilly and, the sun wouldn't be that bad. It was awful. What happened to Polly's sister? Yeah, the wards take forever. You're right. Oh, gosh. Yeah, see, Polly, turn one of those rooms. Grab it and use it and hang up little cloth curtains so you can close it off and enjoy. So, because you know what? We're not getting any younger. And you know what? One day we'll say we could have. So I'll tell you to take over the whole house because it's your happiness. And it is. Now that I have a really good dedicated space, my creativity has gone up. My enjoyment is the main thing that's gone up. So anyway, but just to tell you, my daughter and I love that little Halloween thing. My daughter and I suffered through the heat and that bright sun, and it was so cute. 2 little clouds came and kind of blocked the sun. I heard other people going, yay, cloud, yay, cloud. It was so cute. But the funniest thing is the moment the sun hit a certain spot around 5:30, the temperature cooled so much. People were putting on jackets. And Becky's like, are you cold, Mom? I'm like, yes, and it's wonderful. But oh my God, I must have slept about 10 hours. My daughter wrote me and said she slept 9 hours. For one thing, we had to walk a half a mile from the car to the venue, from the venue back. And that's it, up and down, and it's hilly there. And but I did it. Yay, I did it. So anyway, you're late, sister. So anyway, I'm excited to be here. But it was so funny this morning, about 11 o'clock, because I stay up till at least 2:30. But about 11 o'clock, I was like, I really should get up and figure out what I'm going to do for a show today. Because not being here, we didn't get home last night until after 9. And my daughter probably didn't get home until almost 10. And, but I was laying there saying, I haven't done anything for a show. What am I going to do today for a show? I was like, I can't deal with it. I went back to sleep. Finally made myself get up at 1 o'clock. So I haven't washed my hair. In fact, what little bit of curl is left over from yesterday, I didn't care. It was like we had fun. And yet, like I always tell you, do things with your family. That's the important stuff. Coming and visiting with me is great if you don't have any family obligations. So it was nice. I pulled together some things I'm going to show you, but just know that even I go, you know what? It's a family day yesterday and I didn't have time. I wanted to be mature and save something that I made Friday night and show you later, but I can't. I'm so excited to show you this. So let me get her all straightened out. I need to get a stand for her. Mark and I watched a scary movie called The Watcher while I was making her. So now every time I see her, I'm going to be thinking of that movie. But I took up a bag full. Remember Thursday night when I was here, I was showing you all the possibilities. I packed it all up in the bag, got my glue gun, and upstairs I went. So... oh, you're watching that now, Polly. It ends weirdly, but it's a pretty scary thing, I'll tell you. But, and you know, it has so many twists and turns, I still am not sure what's what. But it's based on a true story, but I think they added a lot of things in there. And the person was never found, so who knows. Anyway, this is my first completed doll. She is my fairy doll, and oh, I'm sure you would, Marcia. That would be wonderful. So what I did is I took her, and I didn't do the armature right. So if you want to make a posable doll that has sturdy armature, you can go look it up on online and find ways to make armature. And that's what I'm going to do next time. And so what I did is I took some fabric and made a top part of her dress, the neatest thing. And even putting her, I had to take that body that I sewed, and I had to get her arms through it. I had to get her head on. And to make it really stay secure, I had to hot glue it because I didn't have the armature quite sturdy enough. And then I took some fabric and made a part of a dress. Then remember that ribbon I had? I made an underskirt with just these little curved flaps. I wanted to make her look like she gathered little bits and pieces in the forest to make her outfit. I took some ribbon to put on her legs. And here is her leg that sticks out in the back. Put that ribbon, and then I took a leaf and put it on her heel. Oh, Carol's here. Good. I would like to get, because you know what? I could use some advice from Carol. But I did things like put little strands of things hanging from her because I was thinking, okay, if she lives in the forest and flits about, she'll grab feathers from birds. She'll grab little bits of things here and there and attach them to herself. And so, like, here's a little piece of wool that was in one of the bags of wool that I used for the hair. Whoops, here it is. So I put this on her, and then I took some thread and kind of made, tied like a cross thing on her. I used leaves on her. She has a leaf here in her hair. She has 3 leaves on her back, and then the leaves on her feet, like they help her fly. She doesn't have her wings yet. I've got to make the wings. But in making this, I broke her little ear tips off twice, but I glued them back on with super glue. I mean, I broke each of them off, so I had to glue them back with super glue. I took that wool and made her hair. I am going to fix her mouth. She looks a little too weird in the mouth, so I will fix that. But I just thought, and she's going to be holding, I'm going to get a little stick of Harry Lauder walking stick and put in her glue into her hand. So she's supposed to be kind of like flying a little bit, kind of, so she's got this leg out that way. But I just kept adding layers and layers of things and trying to make her look like that she kind of cobbled her outfit together. Then I glued on a few little sequins because I wanted her to sparkle. And I did this in her hair, and she's got a bell right there, and she's got a little bell on the front of her. So I'm trying to decide whether I want her to be on a stand or whether to be hanging. And I might get her to hang, and I can hang her from the ceiling because she is a little fairy and she's flying around. So I got my first one done. She is, actually, I think she's only about 12 inches. Let me see. Yeah, she's not quite 12 inches. She's 11 inches. 11 inches to the top of her puffy hair. So I'm really excited. And when I started dressing her, it wasn't looking right. And remember what I always tell you, when you start something, you'll think, oh, I don't know if I like that. Keep going. Keep going. You can always edit later if it still doesn't work out. But as I added the final touches, I feel like she came through. It all came together. Even putting the little ribbon around her legs. It was like, oh, that is so cool. I did like that. And so, whoops, they're moving a little. I need to go back and super glue the ribbons. Every time I handle her leg ribbons move. But I thought, oh, that's cute, just having a ribbon. So, she is a beginner doll. Like, I wouldn't sell her because I wouldn't think she's quite up to par. But I'm going to get there. So, Jody's here. Thank you. And Mary is now here. And Carol is here. It's so great to see you. But you know what? She was fun to make. And I'm probably going to hang her right in here. So every time I come down, I will see her. And it's so funny. I wasn't sure what colors I was going to use on her until I started gathering up all my little bits and pieces. You'd be surprised what you have in your storage containers. But she was so much fun to make that I'm not done yet. I like this. And I just used those bits of wool for her hair. I have some long pieces, then some of them, I wanted to make them really curly, so I rolled it around a pencil, and wool is really good like that. It stayed like that, but I used hot glue to put everything on her. So she's hot glued down. Isn't it wonderful to see? Does she have a name? No, she doesn't have a name. Maybe you could help come up with some ideas to name her. That would be fun. But I do love those big fairy ears on her. I think they're so cute. So, isn't it great seeing Sonia? I love everybody here. So anyway, I just thought I would tell you I absolutely love her with the hot glue and stuff. She's nice and secure. Nothing will move. She's on that cloth body. It was real easy, and I took pliers and connected all the metal ends to her. And that way I can still move her arms. But what I did is before I baked these, I tried to get them in a shape that I thought I wanted. And so she's there. The face is not as pretty, but I keep working on those faces, and I can't wait to make the next one. So there will be more in this series. It has been fun. At first I thought, I had such a hard time getting the faces to look right. There will be more. So, and this was my bag of all the goodies. In fact, her wing material is right here, and it is the Angelina fibers ironed onto themselves. So they're fused. That will be her wing. And I've decided to use that wire for the outside of the wings, and then to come along with some of this ribbon. This will also go around the edge of the wings. So I've got the plan. It's just handwork. It's going to take a little bit of time because I want to get them just right. So I'm so proud of her. I really do like her. Yeah, we could name her Angelina. Oh, so she is a lot of fun. But there's so many different layers. The underneath bodice is that fabric right there. So she's got lots and lots of layers. And then I love putting the leaves on her because she's supposed to be a fairy creature from kind of another little world hiding out in the forest. So I think she's awesome. I like her. All right, I have to put her down now. I'm sad, but I've got to put her down. So let's see. I thought I would show you. Oh, thank you, Miss Mary. It was so much fun. And I was hoping to show you by using a doll head that was my first that I made, second that I made. That's not that great, that it's okay. And if the face is not that pretty, just keep that hair close to it. So I'm almost done with my scarf. Remember, this was the first pattern that I followed. I actually found it extremely easy to follow the pattern. So this is going to be the hood. And one thing that I love, actually, this is the front of the hood. I love this ribbed look here for the stitches. But I have a big head. And so I had to make it longer than the pattern. And I'm going to make it wider than the pattern. And then here are the sides that come down as a scarf. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the bottom down here. It just got hooked on my little... Hold on a second, guys. It got hooked on my little thing. Oh, well. But let me get the other side. So it also has ribbed down here. And what I'm going to do is you fold it up and you take the yarn and you stitch the edges. And what it has a pocket for the hands. But you know, I have big hands and a big head. I'm thinking about going back and adding a couple more rows to this. So, but I could finish it tonight if I wanted to. So I took it with me to Williamsburg and it kept me company in the car. So, because I can't stand to just sit here and do nothing. So, and I really do like the ergonomic crochet hook. Love, love, love them. So that'll go back upstairs. Now, Miss Cheryl, pardon me, sent me a box this week. And she sent Jody a box this week too. And what a dear heart. And she has been so good to Jody going through all that she's gone through. And I love this note card. And she went to the Komen Detroit Race for the Cure, October 2nd. Please send your good thoughts to her. She picked up COVID there. So she did a lot of good for a lot of women, but then she came home with COVID. But she's on the planning committee, so she got all these wonderful things there for cancer survivors, women fighting cancer, and even some decaf chocolate hazelnut tea. Ooh, baby. But more beautiful scarves. And this, I believe, is a towel or a banner. I think it can be either. Oh, I wonder. I do not know. Could be a hand warmer. I've got to figure out what that is. I love it. But I was going to tell you, I'm going to keep some of these things hidden away. And for any of you that hopefully won't need it, but do, I will be sending these to you. So I'm going to keep some special things that I love. Here's a magnet right there. But I will, and I want to put out a thank you because Ford Motor Company sponsored a lot of this. And how wonderful that they care. This is a beautiful box, and inside of this is a beautiful, I guess it's a scarf. So I'm so excited. It was so nice to get a box in the mail. So thank you, and I hope you feel better really soon. Now, while we were speaking, this was very, very thoughtful of her. While we're here talking about the shots, I thought I would tell you about Mark went to the doctor, had his annual physical. I went to the doctor a couple weeks ago and had mine, and my doctor was so happy that we're fully boosted. And she also sent me this. I better show this while we're still talking before I get off on another run. She sent me some Jenny Beyer fabric, and this is an earlier one, so it's extra precious. And this one is from Sumatra, the Sumatra line. But isn't that wonderful? And since blue is my signature color, I know I'm going to treasure it and use it. So thank you, sweetheart, for sending all of this. You are a doll baby. You really are. And you're so supportive. She takes her experience, like my Michelle, takes her experience and reaches out to others who go through the same thing. And let me tell you, I cannot tell you how much that means, because the one thing I found is when you first hear the word cancer, all of a sudden you feel very alone, and that's not what you need. What you need is to be rallied around. And these women who have been there and done that are the best at rallying around and supporting you. I need a drink of water. Your sister is, well, that's unusual. Mark and I had our latest booster. It was nothing. I mean, felt maybe a little sleepy. Your arm was a little bit sore, and we got the flu and the booster at the same time. So now I've had 5 corona shots and 1 flu shot this season. But I wanted to tell you this, that right now the fastest moving variant, it's up in New Jersey and New York, so it will be heading across the nation like it always does. It is a version of the B4. It's a variant off the B4. Mark said he read that the medicine they have for it is not as responsive to this variant, but guess what? It's looking like, since the latest booster is a bivalent and it does the Omicron, B4, and B5. My doctor, her daughter, she was taking care of her daughter who was sick with the virus. And guess what? She didn't get sick. Neither did her husband. They had both been boosted. So if you have thought about it, run out and get it. Get it as soon as you can. And I went ahead. In fact, it was this arm. They did both shots, the flu and the coronavirus, in the same arm. I said, if one arm's got to be sore, get it all over with at once. It worked beautifully, and now I'm protected. So our doctor told us that we moved to the head of the class. But like I told my daughter yesterday, while I was sitting there talking to her about this and how effective this booster is with these new variants, and because I'm impressed that you can take care of a sick patient with this and not get it because you're boosted. But I was telling her about how this booster is the best one yet. So right there, she made her appointment for it. She's a teacher, and she said, can you get the flu vaccine at the same time? I said, absolutely. So she's going tomorrow to get both, and I'm so proud of her. But it's like, this is what we need to do to beat this thing. And I told her, if only everything in life was as easy to deal with as getting this booster and preventing that terrible disease, because they have found 50% of people who get the COVID virus, develop long COVID symptoms. 50% of the new Alzheimer patients have had COVID. So it has a connection to you getting Alzheimer's. So you go in, you get a shot. You know, some people get a little sore, some people get tired. Who knows what it is? But it's minimum. And I said, if every health issue was that easy to fix, we'd be set, let me tell you. So anyway, I just thought I would tell you that, you know, oh, good, Kathy, good. No one likes getting a shot, but this is easy, and the payoff is huge. The payoff is huge. So, all right. Let me see. So I showed you the wonderful things that Cheryl Hogan sent. I love Cheryl. All right. Then I put in a little order from Connecting Threads a couple weeks ago. And they had this as a special. And I do love their thread. It didn't work as good on my quilting machine, but these are 1,200 yard spools. They're on sale right now, 40% off. I do not get paid by them. I just love passing on any good deal that I can find. So this is called Over the Rainbow. This is 10 of their 1,200 yard spools. I got it for $16. That's $1.60 a spool for 100% long staple cotton, 1,200 yards. So right now, this special is not still on, I don't believe, but there are many others. It's 40% off. It's a good time to stock up. Like I say, I don't get paid by them. I always am looking for deals. Since I'd like to do thread painting, and I'm going to be using this in a project I'm going to show you. And this way, I have red, pink, blue, green, lime green, yellow, lavender, orange, purple, dark blue. I mean, this is great. This is super. Then while I was there, like I tell you, you know, if you're paying shipping, might as well put a little something else in it. They had these fabrics on sale very cheaply. You know how I love making journals? This is going to be a journal cover. And I think it's so pretty. I love maps, old-timey maps. So, got a big, this is a big piece. This is extra long. And then, this one is so sweet. This would be a good journal cover. Looks like stamps. Isn't that cool? So that would make a nice journal cover. And I've got to write a list of all the crafts that I want to do because it's so many of them. And this is called Gazette. And it looks like an old-timey newspaper. And that's going to be a cover as well. So I got those. And it was all, you know, $25 at the most. And thank you, Connecting Threads. Love them. All right. Let me bring this over to put this here. So, one thing I'm going to talk about is this coming week on Thursday night is going to be our final. Oh, and don't forget to vote. We need your vote, people. We need your vote. Women can't afford to go backwards, so we need your vote. All right. Now, I already got in my mail-in ballot, but you have to have 2 witnesses now. So we're just going to go and vote early. I'm not taking a chance. All right. So this is going to be our last week of the art dolls. And this week I'm going to do some interesting. This was pretty and fluffy, but I'd like to do some of the gypsy ones and use my wool and flannel scraps and see what I can come up with. And I may be using my polymer clay to make little things like a little lantern with one of them, or a little apple pie for the other, because that's fun, because it's like your imagination. But I talked about what were we going to do for the next project, and I know that before I said something. I forget now exactly what I thought of before. I should have written it down. But then I saw this and I thought, what a great idea. We've got a busy season coming ahead of us, and I like to always give you new ideas. But I also need to get busy making my Christmas ornaments for people and my advent calendars for my grandsons. I started them, but I haven't finished them, and I want them to have them this year. And so when I saw this, I thought this would be a great thing to do in the evening when you're relaxing, settling down. I hope I made this big enough. I shall see. So what I saw was you take a busy fabric and you embellish it. And that's easy enough to do. All right, so I found this fabric. I've had this fabric 10 or 12 years, okay? Let me see what it's named. It's a Robert Kaufman called Stargazer screen print. And you don't need this specific fabric, but look through your stash and see if you have a busy print. Something that begs to be, I bought this so I could cut out designs and then hand applique them onto a background. And that way you can kind of make your own fabric. Oh, I love Robert Kaufman. So what I'm going to do, and I might have cut it a little small. Let's see. It might work. Let me show you what I'm going to do. But I was trying to think, what do we do today? And I thought, show them how we're going to get ready. Whoops. Now, Mark said he had fixed this, but I think it's still, he said I hadn't tightened it enough. Okay, it's holding for right now. So what I'm going to do, what I really should do, hold on, I'll be right back. Let me go get something. I'll be right back. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this out here a little bit so you can see it. It won't be right behind me all the time. Remove my dog beds. Okay, here we go. I forgot. I moved my cute little thing so hopefully you can see it better. What I went to get is some of my interfacing. I like buying it by the bolt because I use it for everything. Let me get my iron on. A nice 6 cotton, because you really do need to get it hot enough to fuse. All right. Now get this out of the way. I have got so many pictures for you of my trip to Williamsburg. I'm so excited to show them. And then I got some new pictures from Debbie. Thank you, Deb, hon. All right, so then I turn this wrong side up. You feel the fusible. The bumpy side is the fusible side, okay? All right, let me see if this will work. Having my light on up there. Then I just lay this fusible. Let me see which way I want it. There. That way fits really good. Good job guessing, Deb. If you do this stuff long enough, you usually can guess. So the bumpy side is against the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure the fabric is nice and straight. I try not to have any fusible laying on the ironing board because it will melt right off the fabric, melt right onto the ironing board. Let me do something really quick. This side is folded up, so I just need to quickly press it flat. Okay, lay this out, making sure that the fabric on the bottom is fully smooth, and then just slowly work your iron over the fusible. Now, while I'm telling you this, that you need a nice hot iron to make it really stick, do not over iron it. Don't put your iron on a heat higher setting than cotton. Do not leave the iron in one place too much. Don't go like this, because when that stuff melts, you can make it get all squidgy on you. And there's one more thing I want you to do when you put your fusible on. Let me get this real quick first. The reason I put the fusible interfacing on the back of this is because you're going to be doing a lot of embellishing on this. And if you don't put this on, the fabric can't hold up to the beading and the ribbon work and the thread work and all of that. It will try to scrunch up on itself. So it's very important that anytime you're going to paint fabric, anytime you're going to embellish fabric to punto, whatever, give it a little extra stiffening with some good old fusible interfacing. All right, so now that I've done it on this side, the one thing I find that's very important is to turn it over and iron it from the pretty side, because that way you really make sure that you've heated up the fabric and the fusible both so that you get a good bond. Now, what happens if you over iron fusible? Well, if you over iron it, the actual glue will come off the interfacing, and it will be absorbed into the fabric, and then it will no longer stick. It will no longer hold the interfacing onto the fabric. You'll just have a glued, sticky fabric. So don't overdo it, okay? Read your instructions. It's always, when in doubt, read the instructions. Or what did my dad used to say? If all else fails, read the instruction. Okay, so let me turn on a fan. I'm getting a little warm here. So then I'm going to take a good old hoop. It can be plastic. It can be wood. I like them big because I don't like moving the hoop around. So what we're going to do, I'll start a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to start on this side. And you can place your fabric. Before you cut it, I just cut mine. But you can, if you want, fussy cut the fabric so you've got the designs right where you want them, okay? But this is so good. What I'm doing lately is using up my stash. Instead of going out and buying new, see what I've got in the closet. But I don't want to hurt any fabric companies, so you do what's best for you. In fact, Polly. I'm going to be going to Pineapple Fabrics the first week in November. They're having their warehouse sale from the 3rd to the 5th. If you want to ride with me, girl, let me know. All right. So we can go together. We can film it for the ladies and show them what we're off and having fun. So here is it. I have it hooped up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a starting point to embellish. And I'm going to do, remember the Alex Anderson, all of the hand stitches? This is a great time to pull that stuff out. I'm going to use beading. I'm going to use thread painting. I'm going to use hand embroidery. I might even paint something on this. Who knows? So I went and found some of my nice shiny beads that kind of go with these colors. I've even got more upstairs. I pulled out some nice shiny thread, and this is good embroidery thread, machine embroidery. I pulled out my DMC flosses, and let me see. I can also use my new pack from Connecting Threads. And that way, I'm going to just sit and do whatever strikes my fancy. And what it is it's fun to learn. It's fun to learn new projects. It's fun to try new things. But sometimes you've got to give your brain a space to relax. Give your brain just some downtime. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with this once I'm done. I might make a little wall hanging with it. I might do trapunto for the shapes. So remember, be careful using beads until you know what you're going to, the final thing is, because if you try to put it on the sewing machine with beads on it, you're going to break needles. So the beading will be my last step. Okay, the beading is going to be my last step. But I can start now with using the beautiful threads and stitching and bring a 3-dimension to this. Now, if you want to, you could use a solid fabric and make your own designs with your stitches. But for me, this is like paint by number, and I can just relax in the evening and just stitch away. And that's why I like having a hoop. If you don't have a hoop, you don't have to use a hoop. But for me, I can just sit this on my lap and stitch anything I want to bring it out. And I probably will go back and put some stuffing behind here and do, when I quilt it, it'll stand out. So that part, that's a lot of fun. But I want to do my embroidery stitches while it's just one piece with the fusible interfacing. So this is our next art quilt project. Something relaxing, something to enjoy, to start. Y'all are the show me people. You are. I love it. I love coming up with all different things. And it's amazing what you can do for very little money. So it's just a matter of your time. And if you're in the stage of life that I am, time is what we have more of than anything else. So this is a nice, relaxing thing. And I'll talk more about it on Thursday. Okay. So there. That is our new project to do. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I have found that I love embellishing. You can put buttons on it. You can put bells on it. Whatever. Let your imagination run away with you. And nice, simple, and easy. Okay. Now, let me turn off this light right here. So when we went to Williamsburg, and if you have any questions, make sure to type them in all caps, okay? And, but Mark and I went to Williamsburg. We got home last Sunday night at 5, so that's why we didn't do a show last Sunday. We had such fun. We stayed in a lovely Comfort Inn, I highly recommend them. The room was perfectly clean, very nice. Not fancy, but affordable and nice. Williamsburg was lovely. We ate at Barrett's Seafood Restaurant right in the Merchant Square of Old Town. The food was wonderful. Oh my gosh. It wasn't cheap, but we said it was worth every penny. We had the best waiter, Christian. He was a doll baby. It was wonderful. On the way up there, we passed some cotton fields. And it was one of those things of, oh, I didn't know they were growing cotton in Virginia. And I found out why later. You'll see more cotton now than before. The main reason is cotton's very saleable right now. Everybody wants cotton. They said when China got into the market, then that's why our fabric and stuff has gotten more expensive over the past 10 years, because you can't quite grow enough cotton. And so, but then the other thing was they started a good form of treatment for the boll weevil. And I don't know if y'all remember boll weevils. We'd find them in the boxes of cake mix if we had them around too long. Or corn. Oh my gosh, they love cornmeal. Well, they also eat the heck out of cotton. And people forget sometimes. I saw a farmer who took these bales of cotton and threw them in for his cows. And his cows were eating it like crazy. And I thought, he's feeding cotton to cows? It is a plant. It's a crop. Oh, yeah. So anyway, but I was so excited to see these cotton fields. So we're driving along, and I was like, oh, I want to get pictures of it. Oh, I want to stop and look at it. Well, it goes by, you're going 55, 60 miles an hour. It goes by so fast. So we said, okay, on our way back, we're going to stop. We're going to know where the cotton is, stop. And I want to take a picture with me in the field. And I got some cotton plant. Mark said, every time we pass a cotton field, you got to get some cotton plants. I'm still fascinated. And I want to say, if the farmer's watching, I only picked the cotton up that was on broken plants laying on the ground, because I am not going to pick his cash crop. That wouldn't be fair. If all of us stopped and picked off the cotton balls, it would eat into his savings. And my family, my mother's side of the family, they were farmers in that very region. But here, the neat thing is you get to see a cotton boll before it opens. And that's what it looks like. And then here's when it starts bursting open. And you would not want to have to pick cotton. Do you see those sharp edges? It is like a needle. And people who had to pick them ended up with their hand just full of cuts. And so you see, I just picked up little pieces broken on the ground because I figured I don't think his machine can pick those up. And here is cottonseed right here. It's stuck in the cotton. And the cottonseed is where you get cottonseed oil. And so the plant has a lot of uses, mainly for the fiber. But then it can be, the stems and leaves can be animal feed. Then you've got the seed. You can make cottonseed oil. So if you ever look at some natural cotton batting and you see little flecks, that's little bits of the seed and stuff stuck in that. It's hard to get the seed out. And as we all know, I think Booker T. Washington made the cotton gin. Was that him? And that really made it a lot easier to separate the seed from the cotton. And in fact, children often farm children had the job of trying to get enough seed out for next year's crop. And they would sit and then they would fluff it. They would get any of the dirt part out. And the cotton that wasn't the best cotton, the mom would take and use for her quilts. And back then, they would take I'll show you. Kind of like felting it is how they would do the cotton. And so they had to quilt pretty close together because it didn't have, our modern cotton batting has a scrim on it. And the scrim is a sprayed on kind of polyester product that kind of helps hold it together. And if you ever see batting that says needled, what they do is when they lay it out as a sheet, all these needles come out and it kind of felts it together. And that's why the new cotton battings, you can go 8 inches between quilting lines. So quilting came from trying to keep all the stuffing in place in a quilt and to connect the front part of the quilt to the backing. So, and if you were lucky enough, you had cotton as your batting. Otherwise, you might have straw, old clothes, who knows what as your filler. So there's a pretty good cotton seed right there. But anyway, they would lay out the cotton strands going this way and kind of scrunch them, put a cloth on top and rub and kind of felt it together so they could use it as batting. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I take the seeds out of this. I want to grow some. My daughter grew some this year, and I'm hoping she got some actual cotton from it. So let me put these out of the way. But yeah, the thorns in cotton, it's not on the stem. It's just a part of the cotton boll. So it's like a hard outer shell like this. And when the cotton inside grows big enough that makes it burst open, you end up, look at these. See these thorny parts of the boll? Because it's like they all fit together. If you were to look at this, see how it comes to a point here? So once that cotton breaks open, then you can see this was on the ground. Look how dirty that is. So that's why also picking the crop. There's a good Sally Fields movie where they're out trying to save the cotton, because if the bowl's open nice and good, you don't want it to rain because it can make the cotton filthy, get it into the mud. What a mess. So anyway, I just thought you might like to see that because not everybody lives where you can grow cotton. The best cotton comes from Giza, which is in the it's in like Saudi Arabia area of the world where it's nice and hot and there's not too much rain, and they grow an especially nice cotton. The cotton we grow here in the country, not much of it's used for fabric because you want the nice long strands, and it's hard to grow here to make that kind of cotton. So the kind of cotton we have is used for other purposes besides making fabric for the most of it. So anyway, but it's fun, and you know what? Oh my gosh, we use cotton for everything. Now, back before we had cotton came from India first, that we were aware of it. And before that, they used linen. And linen is the stems. And what you do is you soak them, they break down, the water in the fermenting breaks them down, and then you run them across boards of nails. And the more you do it, then it becomes, you've heard of flaxen haired, it takes on a pale yellow silky look. Now, if you remember linen, it wrinkles badly, and every time you wash it, you lose a bit of it because it still is a stem. Even though it's a little bit softer, it's got a roughness to it. And so that was even more tedious. So cotton has replaced linen. So, but it used to be wool and linen. There you go. So, all right. Now, you probably heard of rayon. That's a pulp but they use a chemical process to get that. So if I think people would mostly say cotton, stick with the things that don't have to be glued back together with lots of chemicals, okay? All right, now let me see. What was I getting ready? Oh, it's show and tell time. Okay, any questions you're having? There you go. I love it, sweetie. I love it. Oh, you're very welcome. Jenny Beyer was part of a book, wrote a section of book about cotton, and it's really, really fascinating. And I need to try to remember that book's name again, but she wrote a big paragraph in it, and the book was fascinating to learn what it actually takes. Luckily now, in America, we use combines to harvest the cotton. And so they'll go through the field and it cuts the plant up and it separates the bolls from the rest of the plant. And in fact, now is about the time that they're harvesting. Those fields were full of cotton plants, and I have pictures to show you. I'll give you a little hint. When we pulled over, we saw the cotton field, and he saw a perfect pullover place. Yay! And I said, oh, pull up a little bit further. But then I noticed something laying on the side. I said, oh, that's manure. Well, all of a sudden, a smell started wafting into the car. We opened our doors, and it about knocked us over. It wasn't that much laying on the edge of the field, but it was noxious. It was horrible. Our eyes were watering. We felt like we couldn't get a good breath. It was horrible. I said, when we leave, he said, I know, don't pull forward, back up so we don't drive the tires through that manure. We were walking around going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Have you heard, if you smell something that's really pungent, sometimes you smell it for a couple of days. We smelled that manure for 2 days. It got up in our sinuses. We thought it would never leave. Once we left the field, we had the windows open. Our heads were sticking out. And like, oh my gosh. I don't know what the manure was, but it was awful. It was horrible. So be careful where you pull over to look at a cotton field. Mark was saying, make sure you don't step on any of it. It was like, oh my God. And the cotton, we knew the cotton would smell like it, so we put the cotton in the far back of the car. So anyway, let me show you the pictures now, and I'll actually show you the field where I picked up the cotton pieces off the ground, because I'm not stealing a farmer's crop. And that's another thing. If you ever see corn growing by the side of the road, don't stop and pick an ear. It's feed corn. It's inedible to us. So leave the farmer's crop where it is. All right, here we go. Let me turn this around, people. So let me see. All right. Let me come down here, get the camera set up. So, because we have lots of photos to look at. And let me plug in my speaker so that when I show you, I've got a film or two. So, let's see.
Power on.
Power on. All right. And
your device is connected.
It's connected. Let's hope it works. All right. Here we go. Let's see. I hope Miss Bonnie is having fun today, because she is doing her first, let me see. She's doing her first reenactment, and I'm so excited for her. It is so wonderful to have hobbies, things you love doing. Here is the newest picture from our Alexis. And I know she's busy with school now, so hopefully we'll get some more from her soon. But I know she's a busy girl. Never worry. It's good to put your priorities in place. And here is our Miss Bonnie in her reenactment clothing. And I'm so tickled that she made it herself. I think it's wonderful, our Miss Bonnie. And I thought she looked so good, too. She's gotten healthier, and I'm so proud of her. Okay, and look at that. Isn't that cool? So hopefully she'll enjoy this weekend. Looks like she's making a banner for the group, too. So that's awesome, Miss Bonnie. Have fun, sweetie. I know you will. Okay, now let's see. Who is next? Danielle. I still have these three that I saw were so cute. I'll have to get a hold of Danielle and say, we need more. So, and Danielle is from Alsace. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Alsace, France. And I love her work. And then here is a picture of Danielle with her son's dog. Isn't that the cutest? She said he's the gentlest dog ever. I'm glad because that's a big dog head. Let me tell you, he's beautiful. All right, so now let's see. I'll come back to mine. Here, we've got some new pictures from Miss Debbie. She is a busy lady. She said she's had to pack up her sewing stuff for her move, but I know she will miss it. Here is her wonderful collaged pumpkin portrait. Love, love, love it. Love the bird. Wonderful. Look at this one. Is that the cutest? And look at the spider coming down. I love that. And that wonderful harvest moon. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she did these all by herself without a pattern. They're absolutely lovely, and she's very talented. So way to go, Miss Debbie. We love it. Love it. And look at this wonderful quilt. I love the colors she used. Looks like they're batiks. And batiks actually sparkle, don't they, in quilts? So this is a beautiful quilt, Miss Debbie. Beautiful. And good luck with your move. We can't wait to have you on the East Coast. It's going to be a little bit of a temperature shock to you. So make sure you carry plenty of warm clothes because living so close to Houston, you haven't had cold for a while, darling. So just bring plenty of blankets and things because that will bother you just trying to make that transition. All right. And here is, these are, oops, hold on. I forgot again. This is our Diana's. It's funny when I have to go through and edit the folders, sometimes I forget because I'm so used to looking at their first picture. But Diana does these for Project Linus, and I think it's so beautiful. And here's another one. I mean, she puts a lot of effort. Oh, I love the K facets in here. But she puts a lot of work and effort into her Project Linus quilt. So thank you, Miss Diana. Quilters are the nicest people. Miss Dolores. Now, I'm fascinated because Miss Dolores uses her spare time, said tongue-in-cheek, because she's a very busy lady. She uses her spare time raising butterflies. I think she buys them and buys them as, I don't know, does she buy them in the caterpillar stage or does she buy them in the larva stage, hatches them out, and then releases them? How fabulous is that? Let me see if I can minimize this picture. No, I'll have to close this out. All right, here's one of them. Just beautiful. Look at that monarch butterfly. Isn't that exquisite? And here is one on her, looks like a buddleia, butterfly bush. And look at this one on her finger. Let me enlarge it. Look at that. Can you imagine? Oh, what a wonderful hobby that is. And it does something good for the earth. And then here is her commissioned um, boxer. Look at this guy. Is he the cutest thing in the world? And she does such exquisite work. Intense thread painting. Look at all of this to represent the fur. Look at this. So, and I love even the reflection in the glasses. How cute is that? I know that pup owner was so happy with that. And then she wanted to share a doll that she made for her daughter when she went away to college years ago. I love that. Looks like she used colored toothpicks to represent the pencils and then made her a tiny little notebook. How cute. I love it. And see, so you don't have to have a lot of fancy things. This is a darling doll. She said stitching the jeans into pants was tricky, getting those feet in there. But how worth it is that? That's a sweet little thing. And you can just find little things from your jewelry drawer, earrings that don't have a mate. You can look through and come up with all kinds of things to bring to your dolls. Okay? I knew that making dolls would be fun, but I didn't know it was going to be so enjoyable. All right, we just wanted to make sure. I don't want to get rid of this picture because this was a very special day to all of us when Jody got to ring the bell of hope, signaling the end of her chemo. And we're so proud of her and Terry. Love that, Terry. Okay, and he's wearing his lucky t-shirt. Isn't that sweet? What a good man. Okay, Miss Mary. I just love her wacky self-portrait. Love, love, love. Look how she used the tool for the hair. Isn't that great? Love it. And every little thing had meaning. Here's the picture of her kitty on her fall fabric. That's a perfect Halloween kitty, a tortoise shell. And I love her fall mystery made into a quilt. And that tree in the middle is priceless. That just makes the quilt way to go. And she has a pumpkin pillow. And I think she told me her husband made this. So what a great job. She fussy cut the witches to go in the corners. How cute. And she's already started on a Christmas quilt, a Christmas crazy quilt. Boy, say that 3 times fast. A crazy quilt. Christmas crazy quilt. I love that. So cute. And it looks like she fussy cut or embroidered the little snowflakes in all the cornerstones of the sashing. Looks like she's put a little jewel there. Oh, how wonderful. Very, very nice, Miss Mary. Wonderful. I love seeing Miss Mary's work. She puts heart and soul into it. And it just makes you happy. Then here is Miss Willow. We have to get our puppy fix every week. And she'll send us more pictures when she gets a chance. She's awfully busy. And this is the puppy's little car bed, so the puppy can stay safe but still see what's going on. Here's the puppy in a pumpkin. And the puppy in its bed. How cute. Gosh, don't you just love puppies? Oh, I don't love cleaning up after them, but I love puppies. Okay, let's see. Now, I left some of Miss Nadine's on here just so that we could have a moment of zen. Okay. Whoops, come on. I love these photos she took. Miss Nadine lives in Germany, and she crosses the river Elbe, and these are photos from her beautiful area. Just exquisite. Photos like this just make me so happy. And like I said, that kind of corn in a field, anytime when you see it's left there to go dry, that's animal feed corn. And so it's not edible for us. And they leave it out in the field to dry so then they can cut it or grind it the way they need. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. Thank you, Miss Nadine. Okay, now where are we going now? Miss Nazi, and I just wanted to show again her wonderful fall mystery quilt. That is lovely. And I don't know if you're noticing when I'm trying to zone in on things that my hand shakes. And I'm not sure, it's only when I use my mouse. And if I just relax and go slower, then it's fine. So here is our little Jericho. And he is so precious. So Miss Pat, if you're here, tell us how he's doing. Is he home yet? He was born a couple weeks early because his mama's blood pressure went up. But he is a healthy, beautiful little boy. So we'd love to know how he's doing now. All right. Then Miss Polly. Oh, Miss Polly is doing such amazing work. Her quilt in her dining room is exquisite. And then look at this she's doing. I really do love when people piece the background of a quilt that basically is an applique quilt. And her edge stitching is gorgeous. She's really doing a wonderful job on this quilt. So her skills have just soared. Look at this. It's amazing. So way to go, Miss Polly. And don't forget, let me know if you want to ride together to go to Pineapple Fabrics. And I promise not to spend too much money. All right, and then I think our last picture besides mine, SJ, and I wanted to show again her crocheted block. And I absolutely love this raised pattern. Isn't that wonderful? And she sent me the directions. I've got to find it and try it. And then here is her version of Miss Lisa Capin's Quilt As You Go. So I can't wait to see that when it's finished. But thank you, Miss SJ. Over in England. I hope the weather's doing well there. All right. Now we'll go back to mine. And I'll try not to have this take too long. I know that there are going to be a lot of photos. All right, here we go. I wish I could get it to do a slideshow, but I'm not. Let me see. Oh, let me see. I have not figured out yet how to make a slideshow. Okay. Let me see under options. Oh, no, I'm not touching that one. All right, here we go. Now, when we drove up, we took the ferry across to Williamsburg. And here is Mark on the deck of the ferry. And we're crossing the James River between Surrey, Virginia, and Jamestown. And if you look right here, these are the 3 ships reproduction ships that landed in Jamestown. I love them. I used to know their names. It's something like the Constance and they flew right out of my brain. Sorry about that. But that's the James River. Oops. What in the world? I'm not sure why this is turned. Oh, I think Becky did this. I don't know if it'll let me turn it. All right, so we're not going to watch this one because I think that'll make us a wee bit nauseous. Let me see it. Maybe will it let me? No. All right, we won't watch that one. Whew, that was going to get hard. Oh, I have Mark at work in our dining room. Uh-oh, let me turn this up. And he does voice work for his company when they need it. And let me see if I can show it to you again. Let me turn up my volume. Hold on. My volume is up. I'm not sure.
Your device is to connect.
Okay, let's see if I can get it back on. Okay. All right, let's see now. Let me see if you can hear. I love it. I love when I get to listen to him do voice work. At one point, he was a DJ. So he went to broadcasting school, and he's very good with voice work. All right, here is the road leading down to the ferry. I love this charming cottage right there, right on the river. And here's the ferry coming to dock up. There's the ferry. We were riding the Powhatan, or the Powhatan. And here's the Virginia Department of Transportation, Jamestown, Scotland ferry. It's a free ferry. It's been running for years to get people to be able to cross that land from one side of the river to the other. And here's the other ferry, which was named the Williamsburg, that was waiting for its turn. So you drive a piece of road that curves around, and then boom, drive right onto the ferry. And this was so much fun. I would do it every day if I could. And that's the Williamsburg ferry. That's the name of that ferry. Okay. And here's the Powhatan. And so here is what connects the bridge to the ferry. And Mark was telling me that what he does is setups where he drives it across the river, and the whole time we're loading cars, he's putting pressure, pushing against the bridge to hold the ferry there so that the cars can drive on. And I thought, wow, I didn't realize that. So that is fascinating. And there's the Williamsburg over there again. And here's one of the workers directing us into our spaces and our rows. They really fit them on, let me tell you. There's a seagull. I just love the seagulls hanging around, see what's going on. This is a tugboat pushing a barge, and this is the different ferry that's making its trip, probably the Williamsburg. Okay, now let me see. There is just a beautiful view of the James River. The other side, I love this area of the James River it's so peaceful looking. It doesn't have all of the dry docks and the shipbuilding and all of that. It's just beautiful. I love these little seagulls that decided they wanted to take a ride on the ferry too. And we're standing just 3 feet away from them. They're so acclimated to humans, and they love the ride. They love the feeling of the wind under their wings, and they just had the best time. So, and here is the I guess it's the Williamsburg, the other ferry. No, the Williamsburg should have been pulled in, so this must be a third one. I think altogether they have 4 ferries. And there is that tugboat pushing the barge. And you can see part of the Jamestown settlement beyond that. So here's the Jamestown, part of the Jamestown settlement, the recreation of the original settlement. There's another picture of the tugboat and the barge. Here's the channel buoy, and the ferries have to take, the one coming this way has to stay on one side, and the one going this way stays on that side. And there's a Indian longhouse recreated, and the settlement there, the fort. Oh, we're back to March. So let me now, okay, here we are. I see what we're doing. So let me bring up this. And it was so cute. I wanted to take a picture. The captain drives it from up here. And what he does is he drives it from this end going across. The other way, he goes to the other end. So the ferry never actually turns around. It stays in one position. And he moves to the other end of his driving area. But it was so cute. When I went to take pictures, a young man waved. I thought that was sweet. Everybody's in a good mood riding on the ferry. And here we are, all tightly wedged in. And if we had had time, we would have gone up the stairs to get on that second deck. But what fun. It takes about 20 minutes to get over. There's a longer road to get to the ramp on this side. So this side of the river must be more shallow. So they have a longer road, like a bridge that comes out to this point, and here is where the ferry pulls up for the cars. And I think I told you it takes about 20 minutes to go across the James River. There are the 3 ships, the Santa Maria, the Susan Constant. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I learned all of that stuff when I was a wee thing, but that was a lot of years ago. And here, I'm just going to show you some of the houses. I don't know what they are or their name, but for me, this is the architecture that I love in my blood. This is my kind of thing. Mark didn't find it as romantic, but I absolutely loved it. And I love going to Williamsburg in the fall. It's so beautiful. And it was a Rockefeller that saved Williamsburg and rebuilt it and created a living history museum out of it. To me, it's just so beautiful. This is a picture of the governor's mansion, and it's having some work done on it. It's got some scaffolding in front of it. Oops, I guess that's a little fuzzy. Sorry. That's one of the shops. Oh, Campbell's Tavern. Pardon me. That's Campbell's Tavern. So I just snapped a lot of pictures so that some of you who've never been to Williamsburg or live too far away might kind of get an idea of what it's like. And that's the governor's palace again. I love this. I love the dental molding, the colors, the little dogs, shutter dogs, holding the shutters back. I love all of that. And some of the houses are open to the public with a ticket purchase. Some of them are not open to the public. But to live there, they have to agree to abide by certain rules about hiding any modern conveniences, just to keep the look going. This would have been a livestock barn. And you can see here is this is where they would haul the hay up and go into storage. That sign says King's Arms Tavern. So that's a building on that site. I love this windmill. This is Merchant Square, and this is where we had lunch on Saturday. And I said, I want to grab lunch and eat out under one of these umbrellas and just people watch. It's just lovely. And the weather was perfect. It was in the upper 60s. It was just lovely. And then there's all kinds of shops all along the sides. It's called Merchants Square. And beyond, if you were to keep going down, there's the College of William and Mary. Here is the With Candy Shop, and I actually went in and bought something from there. It's so funny, when I used to bring my kids, it was always too expensive to buy stuff. But this time, it was just Mark and I. So we said, yes. We bought lunch. In fact, the cheese shop is where we got our lunch and brought it out to sit at the tables. It's just lovely. It's perfect. You can buy expensive. The tickets are about $50, $46 to $54 per person. But they are kind enough to, you can walk the streets. You can't go inside the buildings down in the old area, but you can enjoy the shops and the restaurants. Here I am in front of that candy shop, the With Candy Shop. And there it is, the With Candy and Gourmet Shop. And these were beautiful pansies and pinks already planted so that in the spring they'll be up right away. More shops. Some wonderful Great Pyrenees that were rescued by this couple. And they're quite old. I was very impressed. Bruton Parish Gift Shop. Bruton Parish is a church that was active back then. And here is Mark right here in front of looking up and reading the signs about the information. There he is. We really had a nice time. This is an open fire at a little bistro where you sit out this time of year. I thought that was lovely. This architecture just makes my heart go pity-pat, let me tell you. This was a beautiful magnolia tree, and I was telling Mark, if you love to decorate in the old Williamsburg way, you love using these, have little reddish look seeds in them and the leaves, and you would make wreaths out of these to decorate for Christmas. Then look at this pretty bush. I saw it and thought, I don't know what that is. Look at those wonderful seed heads. So I've got to look that up and see what that is. There's some photos we walked. A lot of them we took from the car. Peanuts are very big in that area. Very big. If you ever see a brick building that has these metal star things on the ends, what that is that's connected to a steel rod that runs through, or iron rod that runs through the building and holds the two ends of the brick securely. Okay, so if you see that, now you'll know what those are for. They're the finials, the end of the steel rods that hold the building together. Because the brick is actually just an outer cladding. It's usually not part of the structure. God, I would live in that house in a heartbeat. It's beautiful. This is part of the Abbey Rockefeller Museum. Or no, or is that? Yeah, this is part of the museum. It's built a lot like the governor's palace. Then we drove through a cemetery, and there were these wonderful deer. And so, of course, I'm a Deb. We pulled up, and she stayed still, so we talked to her, and she would turn her head and look at us, and then look back, but they're always on alert. And then this is her baby over here. So I thought they were sweet. But I talked to her. Then we found some really old tombstones from the 1840s, 1850s. We were looking for some even older. And, okay. So this is part of the College of William and Mary right there. And that's where Thomas Jefferson went to school, was William and Mary. I had two high school friends that went to William and Mary. My grandfather and my aunt graduated from William and Mary. I wasn't smart enough to go to William and Mary or wealthy enough. But I just thought this is the old Williamsburg Lodge. And if you want to spend around $500 a night, you could stay there too. So we just drove past, took pictures. Like, I'm sorry, I can't afford that. Some of these are a little fuzzy. Sorry about that. This is the powder magazine where they stored all the weapons and the gunpowder to protect the area. This is the courthouse. So this is where they had any trials they needed to have. I just love the paint colors. I love all of it. Sorry about the fuzziness. This is me back in the hotel room. What's the best part of going away is to be able to take some relaxation time in bed just for, doing nothing. So, and then here we're coming back home, so we're getting ready. We rode to Williamsburg on the way back. There I am. There Mark and I are. I said, we look like a nice old couple. And here are the seagulls that accompanied us on the way back across the river. There's the other. That was the Powhatan that day that passed us. These pictures are some that I got out of a circular. And this is the governor's palace. They have carriage rides, but I'm a little shy about doing that. But anyway, and here's a sweet little farmhouse. This is what the average family would have lived in if they could. So, don't pay attention to the fancy houses. And there's my little Halloween. Oh, here we go. I was hoping to get the sound. Let me see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the sound to work. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is my grandson's performance yesterday.
Pairing. Power off. Power on. Your device is connected.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. I am messing this up. This is my grandson right there playing the saxophone. That's my grandson right there. Okay, now. I hope that didn't take too long. It's just so much fun. Oh, here are the cotton fields I was telling you about. And they are ready to be harvested. Isn't that wonderful? What a beautiful sight. Look at this. I love it. And here I am standing out too close to the manure with the cotton. And this again is my grandson and his band. What fun. Oh, I love this. I love this little thing. I do love fall. It is my favorite time of the year. Here is me on the ferry, another cotton field. Love it. This is my daughter and I at yesterday's band competition. Enjoying that. This is my grandson and me in the stands after his performance. He actually came over and thanked us for showing up. What a nice young man. It was fun. There he is, standing there in his uniform. He absolutely is loving band. And there he is, actually marching. Oh, and here are some patterns of fabric I was going to show you so that, just to kind of give you an idea of what kind of fabrics you could use to do our next project. I think I've shown you everything, and I hope I didn't take too long. I knew it was a lot to show you, but, okay. Thank you for sticking with that if you did. And I don't blame you if you said, that's enough. So, a lot of pictures, but I do like to take you with me on these trips so that you can see a little part of my area of the woods and things that I'm doing. Any questions you have? Great job. Nice seeing you, Miss Debbie. All right. I think thank you. I was hoping you wouldn't mind. It's a lot, but please send me any photos of your life, your work. I thank you, Miss Carol, for mentioning that. She put my email address in there, OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com. Thank you, Miss Carol. She is so great about typing things in there for me. On Thursday night, I've got some really interesting websites to show you about doll making, where you can see the experts, the true artists in doll making. So I hope to see you back Thursday. And thank you so much for spending this time with me and being patient with all my photos. Whoops. Move my head the other way. The ghost and I are saying, Halloween's coming. Get ready. All right, everyone. Jody, I hope you're feeling better, and I will drop you an email. Okay, everyone. Thank you, Miss Carol. Thank you, Miss Marsha. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all who were here. Bye-bye. See you Thursday.